crawlers. I'm Nikki, your bookish bestie, and I have spent the last 3 weeks crawling through the dungeon. When I started the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, I had absolutely no clue what I was signing up for. I thought I'd simply just read the first book and then I would just move on to something else. I was so wrong. This series has become a core part of not only my personality, but I just will not stop talking about it, and I will not stop trying to convince everyone I know to read it. Obviously, you can go in blind and have a great time. You don't have to do any research beforehand. But I have compiled a list of 3 things I wish I would have known before reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. Number 1, Matt Dinniman is a pantser. If you're not in the bookish space, that sounds like a funny phrase, but essentially all it means is, as an author, he kind of flies by the seat of his pants. There tends to be 2 types of authors. So there's pantsers and there's plotters. And obviously you can be a blend of the 2. We're never just all or nothing, but he truly is someone who likes to write himself into a corner, and he likes to write 500 death scenes of a certain character to see how things would play out. And I think that's part of the reason his books feel, one, chaotic, but also you feel like there's truly no other direction that these characters could go. All of these things that I'm saying, I'm taking from TikTok videos that I watched at 2 a.m. because someone who's very nice on my TikTok sent me this video of him talking in an interview about his writing style, and then I went on this deep dive at 2 a.m. and nonetheless, I was just so mesmerized by the way his brain works and the way he's created this entire dungeon and this he's created this entire fandom in this series, and it all just exists up in his brain, and he's just going wherever the vibes take him. And I think there's something really magical about that, but something that I had to get used to was that this doesn't necessarily follow like a writing formula. I am very much a fantasy reader first and foremost. And if you've read fantasy, yes, there's plot twists. Yes, there's things that are unexpected. But for the most part, there's tropes and themes and certain plot devices that you kind of pick up on it right away. And you're like, oh, I know this is where it's going. This series does not feel like that. It is so chaotic and it doesn't fit neatly into any box, but there's something so liberating and refreshing about it because you truly can't predict what's coming next ever. And I kind of wish I would have known that beforehand, so I wasn't looking so deep into things, because I think naturally as a fantasy reader, you're always looking for like hidden Easter eggs, and you're kind of expecting the author to be leading you down a certain path, and the author knows where things are going to be headed by book 5, and that's not necessarily the case with these books. I remember watching this video where he was talking about how he pitched the title for book 8, A Parade of Horribles, without ever knowing what the parade was, how it was going to fit in the book. But I think that's what makes his books feel so fun and different and refreshing, is that you're just like along for the ride with him. And I think that's also why I love these books so much, is they just feel so different. They really, truly do. To be fair, this is my first time reading a lit RPG. I have never read this genre before, so also take that into consideration as well. Number 2, the audio is just top tier and 100% worth purchasing. It is worth saying I am not an audio person. I genuinely just don't think that I'm someone who enjoys listening to books. I really am a fast reader, and I feel like I absorb things better when I actually physically use my eyes to read the books. But this audio is just so immersive, and it's done so well. And fun fact, the audio is done by one person, but you could have convinced me differently. I thought it was a graphic audio. I thought it was a bunch of different voice actors coming in and doing this book. And then I, again, saw a TikTok of the person who actually does the audio, and he is just phenomenal. And he's so good at voice acting. And if you're someone who has listened to audiobooks before and cringed when a male audiobook narrator is doing a female voice, you don't feel like that at all. Like, he has just this insane vocal range and does these really amazing impressions of these characters. So 10 out of 10 recommend just listening to the audio. It makes the story come alive, and it really sealed the deal for me with this series and my love for the series as a whole. And last, number 3, I think I love the fandom just as much, if not more, than I love the books. Trust me when I say this, everyone in the fandom wants everyone else who hasn't read these books to read these books. And they will not be shy. If you bring up these books, they will yap. They're down to yap. And I think that's one of my favorite things about this fandom is if you post about a Dungeon Crawler Carl book, there will always be people there waiting to just talk about it. Always. If I knew I was going to be part of this club where everyone is actually like super nice and truly just there for the love of these books, I would have read them so much sooner. It's almost like this little friend group that you become part of because you're all connected by this really fun, chaotic little series. And I love it so much. I guess my question for you is, if you've read Dungeon Crawler Carl, what do you wish people would know, or what do you think they should know before diving into this series? I feel like I stumbled into this club by accident, but I'm just really, really glad that I'm here. If you like this video, you should come read the Dungeon Crawler Carl series with me. I am recording my reactions as I go. I will post a link to the first full episode down in the description below. Also, before you go, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can get alerted when there's new episodes. Thank you so much for crawling with me today.